Setting your goals and developing your personal philosophy. Imagine with all your mind, believe with all your heart, achieve with all your might. Read these words and see if they work for you. Imagine, believe, and achieve. What is a mission statement? You could go pretty much anywhere into any business, any church, anywhere, and you're going to see the mission statement. Now, it may not be as big and prevalent as they want, but somewhere it is written in a pamphlet, on a wall, on a menu, on a chart. Somewhere, somehow, they have this. A mission statement can concisely summarize who you are, what your beliefs are, and what values you possess. It also describes what your motivations are. In other words, start working on your mission statement, but get it down on paper. Type it in the computer, type it in your phone. Your mission statement should include areas in your life that include your academics, your work, your social life, your specific beliefs. Make it who you are. Start working on this now. This is not a homework assignment. This is a life assignment. This is a mission statement I wrote. I'm not going to read through this. You can read through this as you want. But this was when I was teaching physical education. We had to come up with mission statements about how to deal with that. And this is what I came up with. You can always come back to this. We're going to keep moving. What are goals? Short-term goals are ones that you can and will reach in the near future. They can be reached in a day, a week, or even a few months. They can be used as stepping stones toward your long-term goals. Well, what's a long-term goal? Glad you asked. Long-term goals are ones that take a little bit longer to achieve. It could include a semester of school. It could be 1 year. It could be 5 years, or even 20 years. Some of you haven't even been alive 20 years, so a long-term goal is double what you think you know. For some of us who've been around longer, 20 years, well, that's not so a long-term goal anymore. Why are long-term goals more meaningful to you? That you need to think about versus short-term goals. How can you stay on track for short-term and long-term goals? Again, think about these things. To stay on track for a long-term goal, let's say is 1 semester long. You have 15 weeks, maybe you have a vacation in there. Let's say next fall, or let's use this spring. We're now in the 14th week of classes. For this class, only 6 weeks. So the short-term goal is just to get out of the class. But the long-term goal might be graduating from college in 3 years, 3.5 years, 6 years, 10 years, hopefully not beyond that. But if you're doing the 10 years, that's a PhD program. Do any of your goals conflict with your beliefs and personal philosophies? Now you got to think about that. Could your goals conflict with your beliefs and personal philosophies? For somebody going into nursing who, let's say, was offered a really good job, and it was guaranteed benefits, car, house, everything, except it was in an abortion clinic. And the nursing people don't generally believe in abortion, let's say. So now you have a conflict of your goal is to preserve life, but you also want to make money. So these are things that can impact this. Do any of your goals not support another goal? If you want to have a family and you want to graduate college and you want to travel the world for a job, and having a family doesn't just include a spouse but kids, does that not support another goal? Well, some people could argue absolutely. Well, let's say you want to raise your children to they're 18 years old. You're not going to be able to travel very well with them. Well, unless you're making a few million a year, then it can happen. But think about that. Think of a situation where your goals do not support another goal. These things unfortunately do happen in life, and they're confusing. If you reach one goal, will it prevent you from reaching another? Let's include that family with children. If you graduate from college because you wanted that job and you have children, little children, maybe not just 1, but 2, or maybe 3 or 4. You get real busy, you can do that real quick. It does happen. Is it going to prevent you from reaching another goal of getting that full-time job? Well, it might delay it. It won't stop it, but it's going to make things a little bit more difficult. Unless, of course, you work at home on a computer, then it'll be really easy. Goal setting. Try to remember this. Goal setting is a science and it's an art. But if you want to use the science end of it, use the SMART system. It has to be a specific, it has to be measurable, it has to be attainable, it has to be relevant, and it has to be time-bound. Let's take a look at these. In Maslow's hierarchy, and we're looking at goal setting, this is the foundation of a pyramid. We have to meet our physiological needs: breathing, food, water, sex for reproduction. We need sleep. We need homeostasis, which means comfort of our body, and excretion. What happens if you don't excrete? Oh, nothing good. And if I need to explain that further, we'll have a biology class next semester. After we reach our physiological needs, we need to have safety. The security of our body. In other words, we have to feel safe behind locked doors. We have to be employed. We have to have resources, which could be food, a car, a house, shelter, clothing. We have to have morality, how we feel about other people. The family. Is our family safe? Are we safe within our family? We have to have our health, and we need property too, and our safety of our property needs to be taken care of. Love and belonging is the next step. We have friendship, family, and sexual intimacy. If we don't reach physiological, we can't reach safety. If we don't feel safe, love and belonging becomes very difficult. After we've reached these three, esteem starts coming into play. Self-esteem is how we feel. We feel more confident with things. We feel that we're achieving things. We have respect of others, and we're respected by others. Now notice, this is starting to look like a pyramid. The top of the pyramid is always good. Self-actualization, according to Maslow, is reaching the highest morality we can. It allows our creativity to just flow freely, which leads to spontaneity. In other words, we can just pick up and do what we want. We can solve problems much easier. When you have money and resources and know-how and safety, problem solving becomes very, very easy. We also start to develop, or I should say, remove lack of prejudices towards people, thinking, and places. And we also start accepting facts. Once you reach the top of this pyramid, according to Maslow, you are at the highest possible goal setting that you can possibly be. Now, this little feller never gives up. If the plan doesn't work, change the plan, but never the goal. If plan A didn't work, the alphabet has 25 more letters, so stay cool. Now, if you look at this little mousy character here, he's got a helmet. He wants that cheese. He knows that cheese is going to be difficult to get. That's why he put the helmet on. Now, for those of you that have caught a mouse in a mousetrap, well, I'm not going to explain it, but it's not real good for the mouse. Maybe all his little cousins are watching, and they're going to see him fail with a helmet, because where the mouse gets hit, it's not usually on the head, and they're going to go and get the cheese afterwards, so they have the plan. But never give up with your plan. Remember, that's your cheese, and hopefully the mousetrap doesn't get you. When we're talking about motivation, there's a couple different ones. There's external and internal. I'm not going to go through these. I want you to read these on your own. You can come back through here and start looking at these and really start to think how you motivate yourself. Are you driven by external motivation or internal? I will tell you right now that internal motivation is the way to go. It is the strongest possible motivation. Internal motivation means that your motivation to accomplish your goal comes from within you. It's not a bribe. It's not if you do this, you get this. It makes you feel good that you did something. And this will give you direct satisfaction. So think about external and internal motivation and what's going on in your life. Tips for improving your internal motivation are: think about what type of motivation you're creating for yourself through your goals. Are you allowing other people to drive your goals, or are you setting your goals? If they are setting your goals, can you take them and make them your own goals? That's usually a really good goal for you to do, of course. Think about the relationship between external and internal motivation also, and your commitment to those specific goals. What is really the driving factor behind you getting something? Why are you in school? Did somebody pay your way and say, if you go, I'll pay? Well, they didn't tell you had to study, did they? But if they paid and you go, and your motivation is because you want the degree, they're just providing a resource, now you've got some good motivation. You also want to look for goals that foster external motivation and be aware of them. They are much more difficult to maintain. If it's within you, it's easier. You carry that with you at all times. If somebody's dangling the carrot in front of your face and saying, hey, come get the carrot, but you can never quite get it, eventually you're probably going to get tired of it. Now, a horse may keep trying. You're not a horse. You're a person, and your goals have to be important to you. Try to create goals that you find internally rewarding every single time you do anything. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, the next day when you wake up, what are your goals for that day? To get through the door without banging your head on the side of it? If that's a simple goal, make it happen. Remember to always think about your beliefs and motivation in relationship to your goals. Very, very important. If you really don't believe in what you're doing, your motivation is going to start dwindling and dropping off very, very quickly. Look at all your goals, big ones, small ones, medium ones, crazy ones, your dreams, whatever it is, and think about why those are your goals. Questions to guide your thinking about motivation. Are you clear about your goals? Are you successful in both setting and achieving your goals? A lot of people set goals, but they never achieve them because they don't make the plan. Remember the little mouse in the mousetrap. What's your plan to reach your goal? Do you believe you can be a successful student in college? If you believe yes, then you will be, but you got to work for it. You can't just sit back and say, well, I think I can, I know I can. That's like the little engine that could. If you don't know that story, go look it up. Google the little engine. Do your beliefs about yourself in college help you to succeed, or do you have self-sabotaging beliefs? Oh, I'm so stupid. I forgot to do this and I forgot to do that. And I got an F on a paper because. It doesn't matter. Don't self-sabotage. Be aware of negative thinking in your head and stop it. When you hear yourself say, oh, I'm so stupid, say, no, I'm not. I don't believe that for a second. Tell yourself, stop thinking that way. Change your thinking. That's between you, yourself, and the person in the mirror staring back at you. If you don't believe me, go have a conversation with yourself in the mirror and see who wins that argument. It'll probably be a tie. Do you think high achievement is more a matter of luck than effort? Well, if that's so, keep buying those lottery tickets because maybe eventually after you're spending about $1 billion, maybe you'll win $100 million. Math doesn't add up on that one. Do you think your academic abilities are something you were just born with? Or do you think that there are things that you can do to help yourself earn better grades? Now, we probably have all met somebody some way, somehow, somewhere in our lives in the past, and you'll meet them in the future, that wake up genius level and they get A's with barely studying. Then there's other people who have to work super hard and absolutely drive themselves crazy just to get a B. These things happen. It depends on how effective you are at studying. Some people were born lucky, some not so lucky. Now, when we talk about luck and goals, what do you think this is? A lot of people think it's a plant, or it's a cocoon, or they just don't know. It's actually a little fern, about 1 inch tall. But does a fern know it's going to be a fern? Well, not usually. Maybe it's going to grow into a beautiful red rose. Now, this is my granddog, Dakota. He lives up in the mountains of California with my granddaughter and grandson. Or my daughter, I should say. She's not that old. But he used to be a party dog when he was about 1 or 2 years old. He'd have all his buddies over and they'd make a mess and my daughter would have to clean up. And then he finally grew up. He had a goal of, I'm tired of partying because nobody helps me clean up. So he did something with his life. He became a mountain dog. And he climbed that 11,053-foot mountain. Pretty cool. I don't know how he took that selfie. He doesn't have thumbs, so that's a unique problem. This is my dog Buxy on the left. This is my study buddy. When we study outside in the shade, he actually sleeps with his eyes open. It's kind of freaky, but he will just watch me study. And when I'm done studying, well, guess what? He's still sleeping. Now, you can hide up in a tree, you can hide on the couch, or you can study. And when you're done studying, you can lie on the couch and then go hide in the tree. It's up to you. Or you can be the lioness or the lion, king and queen of the savannah. Now, this is a goal, dog. This is Buxy laying down in the kitchen guarding that pot. In that pot, I guarantee you, is chicken cooking. He is a chicken dog. He loves chicken. His goal is to get stepped on and woken up just as somebody's getting to that pot in hopes that he will be given chicken. Well, it hasn't worked yet, but he does get stepped on a lot. Now, if things work out really good, you work really hard, and you get a little bit of luck going, you might end up like Ma and Pop Moneybucks here. And if things work out really good, and you get a good job, and you have a goal, and you have motivation, you could find 2 chairs with your best bud, wherever you want to go. This is in the Caribbean. This is my motivation. This is my internal motivation of why I want to succeed, so I can fill these chairs with myself and my wife. Now, this guy's an iguana. He lives down in Curacao. His goal, although you don't know it, is to not get eaten. He is a delicacy on Curacao. He makes great iguana soup, and I'm not talking about being the cook. So he's always on the lookout. Personal philosophies, I believe, and I love this Chinese proverb, that failure is not falling down, but refusing to get up. Find what your philosophy is, write it down, get it on paper, make it a screensaver, get it to scroll across your phone, and every day read it and start believing it and live what you believe. Because we do fall down. And if you just lay there, who's going to come get you? Probably not too many people. You got to pick yourself up. Keep on moving. A personal philosophy that I wrote, again, I'm not going to read this to you. You can read this on your own. But we had to create these when we were teachers in physical education. Very, very important. This is the iguana saying, see ya, buddy, because I'm not your lunch. The buffet's over there. Have fun. Set your goals. Make them realistic. Work your goals with a plan. When you reach your goal, you'll know it because it'll feel right. Good luck.